In 2002, South Korea were joint hosts of the World Cup, along with Japan. Against all the odds, the South Koreans went all the way to the semi-finals. On paper, this run sounds like a fairy tale, but in reality, it was a run full of controversy and accusations of match-fixing from officials, and many fans have still not forgiven those involved. This is a story of South Korea's controversial run to the World Cup semi-finals. (2002) would be the sixth time that South Korea had competed at a World Cup finals, their fifth consecutive appearance. They had never previously advanced beyond the group stage or even won a World Cup game. Under management of Gus Hiddink and as co-hosts, they hoped this would change. South Korea's first game came against Poland, and they hit the ground running with a comfortable 2-0 win to seal 3 points at a World Cup for the first time. Next up was a 1-1 draw with the USA, and whilst they were unfancied in their last game against Portugal, a 70th minute winner from Park Ji-sung saw them seal a shock win. They had breezed their way through the group stage without much incident. It would be the next game where the real controversy started. South Korea faced Italy in the round of 16. The Italians were one of the favourites for the tournament, with the likes of Francesco Totti, Paolo Maldini and Filippo Inzaghi in their team. The match would be refereed by Ecuadorian Byron Moreno, and it would be an encounter that would define his career. In only the 5th minute of the game, South Korea were controversially awarded a penalty, but Buffon would save Jung-Hwan's kick. Christian Vieri would open the scoring for Italy just short of 20 minutes in, but the referee seemed to be in favour of the South Koreans. Many physical challenges from South Korea went by unpunished, as the Italians grew greatly frustrated with Moreno's officiating. The South Koreans continued to use physical tactics to frustrate the Italians, and whilst Italy seemed to be on their way to victory, in the 89th minute, Seol-Ki-Hyeon levelled the scores to send the game to extra time. Further controversy followed. Francesco Totti was shown a second yellow card for diving in the 103rd minute, after falling to the floor following a fair challenge. Moreno had been over 40 yards from the incident when it had occurred. In the second half of extra time, Italy had a goal disallowed for a narrow offside, a decision which saw many Italian players laughing in frustration. With the golden goal rule in place, it would have seen Italy through. Soon, the game was decided. A header in the 117th minute from Jung-Hwan sealed a spot in the quarter-finals for the South Koreans. It was a shock, but sadly overshadowed by controversy. The reaction in Italy was one full of fury, and Jung-Hwan had his loan spell of Italian side Perugia terminated, with the club's owner Luciano Gauci saying he had no intention of paying a salary to someone who had ruined Italian football. Many, including Italy coach Giovanni Trapattoni, felt the match had been fixed by FIFA to ensure that one of the hosts remained in the tournament. Even Sepp Blatter admitted the refereeing performance was not good enough, but denied the allegations of corruption. Next up was Spain in the quarter-finals. The Spanish were much fancied, but the controversy would continue. Egypt's Gamal Gandor would take charge of the whistle. A South Korea own goal was disallowed, and Spain were denied again by the referee when Hwagin was incorrectly judged to have taken the ball out of play before his cross was headed in. The game passed by goalless, and in the penalty shootout, Spain choked first by missing their 4th penalty, and Hong Myung-bo converted to seal South Korea's place in the semi-finals. The post-match discussion was littered with controversy once again, with Spain player Ivan Helguera stating that everyone had seen 2 perfectly good goals and that Spain had only lost because they weren't allowed to win. South Korea faced Germany in the semi-finals, but it proved a step too far for the co-hosts, as the Michael Ballack goal gave Germany a spot in the final. The South Korean class of 2002 would remain heroes back home, but to many across Europe, their run remains infamous. The allegations of corruption were certainly helped by the fact that Byron Moreno was later suspended for 20 matches, and investigated by the Ecuadorian footballing authorities for an array of controversies, one of them being his World Cup performance. In 2010, he was arrested for smuggling heroin into New York. The South Korean team of 2002 were adored for their efforts, and even received exemption from military service to prepare for the next tournament. Whilst their run in the 2002 World Cup will forever be overshadowed outside their homeland, their players still deserve credit, as they were not to blame for the corruption. And even with referees on your side, it still takes talent to beat teams like Portugal, Italy, and Spain in one tournament. The truth around the refereeing decisions in South Korea's games at the 2002 World Cup may never be known for sure, but sadly, there is indeed no smoke without fire, and what seems like a great story is sadly spoiled by alleged corruption, characteristic of FIFA once you dig into the tale a little further.